Your life is a storm of noise, notifications, endless scrolling, shallow conversations. Your focus is fractured into 1,000 pieces. Your best work is never done because you are never truly alone with it. You are busy, but you are not productive. You are connected to everyone, but disconnected from your own potential. This is the modern prison. It has no bars, but you are a willing inmate, sentenced to a life of shallow work and constant distraction. This program is the key. We will teach you the monastic mindset. This is not about religion. It is about a radical, ruthless commitment to solitude, deep work, and a simplified daily protocol. It is about clearing the clutter to make space for the masterpiece. It is about becoming the architect of your attention, not a slave to it. Unlock the hidden power of a simplified, disciplined daily routine to achieve a level of focus and output you never thought possible. Your world will get quieter. Your work will get better. Your self-mastery begins now. Chapter 1: The Modern Prison of Constant Connection. Let's begin with a diagnosis. Your life is a storm of noise. A relentless hurricane of notifications, emails, breaking news, and endless feeds, all designed with one purpose: to shatter your focus into 1,000 worthless pieces. You wake up and the first thing you reach for is a screen. You stand in line for coffee and you scroll. You sit down to do important work and your mind is immediately pulled away by the phantom buzz in your pocket. You have been told this is normal. You have been told this is necessary to stay connected. This is a lie. This is not connection. This is a prison. It is a modern, digital prison with invisible bars, and you are both the inmate and the willing guard. You have been conditioned to mistake the frantic, shallow busyness of this prison for productive, meaningful work. You are always occupied, but you are never truly engaged. You are always busy, but you are never making progress on the things that matter. Your smartphone is not a neutral tool. It is a slot machine, engineered by the brightest minds in the world to addict you. Every notification, every like, every new email is a pull of the lever, delivering a tiny, unpredictable hit of dopamine that keeps you coming back for more. You are not checking your phone for information. You are checking it for a neurological reward. Your social media is not a community. It is a performance. It is a second, unpaid job where you are the product, the marketer, and the anxious performer, all at once. You spend your precious cognitive energy crafting an image, seeking validation, and comparing your real, messy life to the curated highlight reels of others. This is a colossal waste of your limited time and willpower. This constant, low-grade distraction is the enemy of all great work. And it has a name: shallow work. Shallow work is every email you check out of habit. It is every pointless meeting that could have been a sentence. It is every moment spent scrolling through the opinions of strangers. It is logistical, it is reactive, and it requires almost none of your real intelligence. It feels like work. It looks like work. But it produces almost nothing of lasting value. It is the illusion of productivity. And here is the hard, non-negotiable truth that you must accept before we can go any further. Shallow work is a betrayal of your potential. Every hour you give to the shallow is an hour stolen from the deep. The deep is where your true potential lives. The deep is where you learn a difficult skill, write the book, build the business, solve the complex problem. The deep is where mastery is forged. Shallow work is the enemy of the deep. It starves it of the only two resources it needs to survive: uninterrupted time and undivided focus. You have a choice. You can continue to let your days be consumed by the shallow, reacting to the agendas of others, always busy, never advancing. Or you can declare war on it. You can begin the disciplined, deliberate process of reclaiming your mind. It's not about a flaw in your character, it's about the discipline you have yet to build. Look at your to-do list. Look at your calendar. Be brutally honest. How much of it is a reaction to incoming noise, and how much is a proactive step toward a great and difficult goal? For most, the ratio is a disaster. The inbox is the master. The notifications are the master. The urgent, but unimportant, is the master. Shallow work is a betrayal of your potential. You were not meant to spend your life reacting. You were meant to create, to build, to solve. You were meant to produce work that is so good, so valuable, and so rare that it cannot be ignored. That kind of work is impossible in a state of constant distraction. That's the key. The first step is to see the prison. To recognize the noise for what it is: a thief. It is stealing your focus, it is stealing your time, and it is stealing the future you could be building. You don't need anyone's permission to log off. You don't need to apologize for being unavailable. Your only apology should be to yourself, for years of letting the shallow betray the deep. This program is your escape plan. The monastic mindset is not about becoming a hermit. It is about becoming a master. It is about ruthlessly eliminating the trivial distractions of the modern world so you can focus intensely on the things that actually matter. It is about creating a life of profound productivity and quiet, internal peace. You now see the prison. You have named the enemy. It is the culture of shallow work. And you know, with absolute certainty, that shallow work is a betrayal of your potential. Now, the escape begins. And the first step in escaping any prison is to build a wall between yourself and your captors. It is time to learn the art of becoming strategically unavailable. Chapter 2, Building Your Wall, the Art of Strategic Unavailability. You have diagnosed the disease. You have named the enemy, the shallow, distracting world that betrays your potential. Now, we begin the counterattack. The first act of war against the noise is not to manage it, but to build a wall so high that the noise cannot get in. You must become strategically unavailable. Let this sink in. Your constant availability is not a virtue. It is a weakness. It is a signal to the world that you have nothing more important to do than react to their demands. An open calendar and an instant reply are the signs of a person with no mission of their own. Your accessibility has become your liability. You are a fortress with the gates wide open, and you are wondering why the enemy is in your throne room. The most valuable work you will ever produce requires deep, uninterrupted focus. It is impossible to achieve this state if you are constantly on guard, waiting for the next email, the next message, the next notification. That low-level anxiety of being on call shatters your cognitive capacity. We must eliminate it. Your new command is the foundation of the monastic mindset: build your wall. Defend your time. This is not a metaphor. This is a practical, physical instruction. You will take your calendar, and you will schedule blocks of time, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, whatever you can manage to start, and you will label these blocks monk mode. During these blocks, you are dead to the world. You are unreachable. You are engaged in the single most important task of your day. Here is the non-negotiable protocol for entering monk mode. This is not a set of suggestions. This is the drill. First, you define the single, high-value task you will work on. No multitasking. No ambiguity. Second, you turn your phone completely off. Not on silent. Not face down. Off. And then you will take that phone and you will put it in another room. The temptation must be removed from your physical space. Third, you close every single tab, application, and window on your computer that is not absolutely essential for the task at hand. Your email client is closed. Your team chat is closed. Your newsfeed is closed. Fourth, you disable all desktop notifications. The only thing in front of you should be the work itself. This is your wall. It is digital, and it is physical. For the next 90 minutes, nothing exists but you and the task. That's the key. The first time you do this, it will feel uncomfortable. Your brain, addicted to the constant drip of stimulation, will rebel. You will feel a phantom buzz in your pocket. You will feel a compulsive urge to just check your email for a second. This is the addiction fighting back. You must starve it. You must hold the line. Build your wall. Defend your time. The world will try to tear it down. A colleague will send a message and expect an instant reply. A friend will call. An urgent email will arrive. You must be ruthless. The wall is sacred. What feels urgent to others is almost always a failure of planning on their part. It is not your emergency. You are in monk mode. You are unavailable. You don't need their permission to focus. You have a choice. You can be the firefighter, constantly reacting to the small fires others have set, or you can be the architect, calmly building your empire behind a wall of your own design. It's not about being a bad colleague or a bad friend. It is about the discipline to understand that the greatest gift you can give the world is the output of your best, most focused work, and that work cannot happen in a state of constant interruption. People will adjust. They will learn that you are not the person who replies in 30 seconds. They will learn that if they want your thoughtful attention, they need to respect your process. You are training them how to treat you. You are teaching them that your time is a valuable, finite resource that you control. Build your wall. Defend your time. Start with one 90-minute block a day. Protect it like your life depends on it, because the life you want to build does depend on it. This is not a productivity hack. This is a declaration of war on the shallow. This is you, telling the world and, more importantly, telling yourself, my focus is my priority. My deep work is my priority. My potential is my priority. The fear you feel about being unavailable is a lie. The world will not fall apart in 90 minutes. The urgent message will still be there when you are finished. The difference is that you will emerge from your monk mode block having made real, tangible progress on something that matters, instead of having spent that same 90 minutes being pulled in a dozen different directions. This practice will change you. The ability to voluntarily disconnect from the hive mind and focus deeply on a single task is a superpower in the 21st century economy. While others are drowning in a sea of digital noise, you will be producing work of such quality and clarity that it cannot be ignored. You have now been given the first practical tool of the monastic mindset. You know that to defeat the enemy of shallow work, you must become strategically unavailable. But a wall is only useful if you are protecting something valuable. What will you do behind this wall? How do you decide which tasks are worthy of the sacred, protected time? An impenetrable fortress is wasted if it is guarding an empty field. Now that you have built the wall, we must learn to be ruthless about what we allow inside. Chapter 3, The Vow of Essentialism. If it's not a hell yes, it's a no. You have built your wall. You have defended your time. You have scheduled your monk mode, and you now have a sacred, impenetrable block of time where the world cannot reach you. This is a monumental first step. But an impenetrable fortress is wasted if it is guarding an empty field. The next, and arguably harder, step is to become ruthless about what you allow inside that wall. Your most valuable currency is not your money. It is your yes. Every time you say yes to a project, a meeting, a request, or an opportunity, you are not just giving your agreement. You are spending a non-renewable portion of your life. You are spending your focus. You are spending your energy. You are spending the precious, protected time inside your fortress. Your yes is not free. It is the most expensive thing you own. And you have been giving it away for almost nothing. You say yes because you don't want to be rude. You say yes because you are flattered to be asked. You say yes because of a vague fear of missing out. You say yes to good opportunities, to interesting projects, to okay ideas. And with every one of these mediocre affirmations, you betray the great work that is waiting for you. You must understand this: the single greatest enemy of your masterpiece is not the bad opportunity. It is the endless stream of good enough ones. Your life is a cluttered garage, filled with dozens of pretty good projects and, maybe someday, ideas. It is filled with other people's priorities. And because it is so full, there is no room to build the one thing that truly matters. We are not here to organize the clutter. We are here to set it on fire. Your new, non-negotiable law is this: 100 shallow commitments produce 0 masterpieces. We will now replace this life of clutter with a vow of essentialism. The rule is simple, but it requires a level of discipline you have not yet practiced. From now on, when you evaluate any new opportunity, any new request, any new idea that demands your time, you will no longer ask, "Is this a good idea?" You will ask, "Is this a hell yes?" If the answer is anything less, if it is a maybe, a "that sounds interesting," or a hesitant yes, then the answer is a simple, immediate, and unapologetic no. This is the 90% or nothing rule. When a new commitment comes your way, you will grade it on a scale of 1 to 10, based on its absolute alignment with your most important, long-term, deep work goal. Is this task a 9 or a 10? Is it a hell yes? If it is a 9 or a 10, you commit with everything you have. You give it your full, undivided focus. If it is an 8, a 7, a 6, or anything less, it is a 0. You discard it. This is where the undisciplined mind fails. The undisciplined mind sees an 8 and thinks, "This is pretty good. I should do it." The master sees an 8 and recognizes it as a trap. The 8s are the most dangerous, seductive distractions. They are good enough to tempt you, but not good enough to transform you. They are the thieves that steal your time, your energy, and your focus from the true 10s. 100 shallow commitments produce 0 masterpieces. Let's make this practical. You receive an invitation to join a new committee at work. It sounds respectable. It might be good for your career. The old you, the people pleaser, would have said yes out of a sense of obligation. The new you, the monastic mind, runs the filter. My single most important goal is to finish writing the code for my new product. Is joining this committee a 9 or a 10 in service of that goal? No. It is a 6. Therefore, it is a 0. The answer is, "Thank you for the offer, but I cannot commit to that right now." You do not need to give a long, justifying excuse. A long excuse is just a negotiation. No is a complete sentence. You don't need their permission to protect your focus. Let's use another example. A friend asks you to help them with their new side project. You like this friend. You want to be helpful. But is their project a 9 or a 10 for you? Does it align with your core mission? No. It's a good way to spend a weekend, but it is not your hell yes. You have a choice. You can sacrifice your highest potential on the altar of being helpful, or you can preserve your energy for your own masterpiece. It's not about being a bad friend. It's about the discipline to know that your greatest contribution to the world comes from fulfilling your own potential, not from diluting it across the potentials of others. This will feel confrontational at first. You have been conditioned to say yes to be liked. But the real confrontation is with your own mediocrity. Every time you say no to a shallow commitment, you are saying a powerful, resounding yes to your deep work. You are saying yes to your masterpiece. That's the key. 100 shallow commitments produce 0 masterpieces. Your work today is to conduct an audit. Look at your current list of projects, commitments, and obligations. Be brutally honest. How many of them are a true 9 or 10? How many are just SIXS 7s and 8s that you said yes to out of guilt or habit? You must begin the process of pruning. You must say no to the things that are already in your life to make space. This is the only way. You must create the empty, sacred space that your great work requires. You now have a fortress and you have a gatekeeper. You have your monk mode block of time and you have your hell yes filter. You have created a protected space and you have a ruthless rule to ensure that only the most essential tasks are allowed inside. You are no longer cluttered. You are no longer distracted by the good. You are focused on the great. But once that single, essential task is inside the wall with you, how do you engage with it? How do you give it the full, undivided power of your mind, free from the last, most insidious enemy, the desire to multitask? You have the one task. Now you must learn how to execute it. Chapter 4, The Ritual of the Single Task. You have built your wall to protect your time. You have installed a ruthless gatekeeper, the vow of essentialism, to protect your focus. You now have a sacred, defended block of time and a single, high-value mission that you have deemed a hell yes. Now, we must define the ritual that takes place within these walls. We must define the how of deep work. The modern world has sold you a seductive and destructive lie. The lie is called multitasking. It is a badge of honor for the busy and the distracted. It is the myth that you can do 5 things at once and do them all well. This is a neurological impossibility. Your brain cannot focus on 2 cognitive tasks simultaneously. It cannot. What you call multitasking is actually task switching. It is the frantic, inefficient, and exhausting bouncing of your attention from one shallow target to another. Every time you switch, you pay a price. The price is called attention residue. A piece of your cognitive bandwidth, a piece of your focus, remains stuck on the last task you were doing. You switch from writing your report to quickly checking an email. When you return to the report, a part of your mind is still lingering on that email. You switch to a chat message, and now your focus is split 3 ways. Your mind is not a clean, sharp beam of light. It is a fractured, cloudy, pathetic mess. You are operating at a fraction of your potential, you are calling it productivity, and you are wondering why you are so tired and have so little to show for it. This ends now. We will replace the chaotic fallacy of multitasking with the profound, productive power of monotasking. This is the ritual of the single task. The rule is absolute. Inside your protected monk mode block, you will work on one thing. 1. Not 2. Not the main thing and a few small things. 1. Your new drill, the very heart of your work ethic, is this: one task, one focus, one victory. Before your protected time begins, you will define your mission with absolute clarity. You will not just say, work on the project. That is a recipe for failure. It is too vague. You will say, draft the first 3 pages of the proposal. Or, write the code for the user authentication module. Or, analyze the sales data from the last quarter and create the primary chart. Your task must be specific, measurable, and singular. Once the timer starts and the wall is up, you are a master craftsman with a single piece of stone to sculpt. Nothing else in the universe exists. What happens when a distraction comes from within? A brilliant idea for another project pops into your head. A sudden memory of an email you forgot to send. The amateur, the undisciplined mind, would follow that impulse. They would switch tasks just for a second. And the battle would be lost. The professional, the monastic mind, is prepared. You will keep a simple, distraction notepad next to you. When the brilliant idea comes, you will not fight it. You will simply write it down on the pad. You will acknowledge it. And you will immediately return your full focus to the single task. You have captured the idea without surrendering your focus. You have honored the ritual. One task. One focus. One victory. This is not about inflexibility. It is about effectiveness. The human mind achieves its peak state of performance, often called flow, only when it is allowed to concentrate on a single, challenging task for a sustained, uninterrupted period. By constantly switching, you are denying your brain the very conditions it needs to do its best work. You are choosing the cheap, easy stimulation of distraction over the deep, difficult satisfaction of depth. You have a choice. You can be a jack of all trades, master of none, or you can be a master of one thing at a time. Now, what happens if you finish your designated task before your monk mode block is over? The amateur would see this as an opportunity to reward themselves. They would check their email. They would browse social media. They would break the wall. This is a failure of discipline. The professional, the practitioner of the monastic mindset, does not break the ritual. You honor the block. If you finish your 3 pages in 60 minutes, and you have 30 minutes left, you do not start a new, unrelated task. You go deeper. You review the 3 pages you just wrote. You edit them. You ask, how can this be 10% better? You refine the code. You double-check the data. You sit in silence and think about the problem from a new angle. You use every single second of your protected time in service of the one task. That's the key. One task. One focus. One victory. This ritual provides a powerful psychological benefit. A day spent multitasking, bouncing between a dozen shallow tasks, leaves you feeling exhausted, fragmented, and unfulfilled. You were busy all day, but you have no tangible accomplishment to show for it. It feels like running on a treadmill. A day where you complete one 90-minute monotasking session is different. You emerge with a concrete result. The first 3 pages are written. The code is complete. The analysis is done. You have a victory. You have tangible proof of your ability to focus and produce. This sense of completion builds momentum. It creates a positive feedback loop. One victory today makes it easier to achieve another victory tomorrow. You are not just doing the work, you are building the identity of a person who is capable of deep, focused, valuable work. Stop celebrating the ability to juggle. It is a circus act. It is a performance of shallowness. Start cultivating the discipline to focus. That is the skill of a master. You don't need their permission to close your tabs and concentrate on the single most important thing in front of you. You now have the complete core of the system. You have the wall of unavailability. You have the gatekeeper of essentialism. And now you have the ritual of the single task. This is the engine of your new productive life. But the most powerful engine will fail to start if the conditions are not right. The success of this entire ritual, your ability to win this battle, is often won or lost before you even sit down to work. It is determined in the first hour of your day. Chapter 5, Master Your Mornings, Master Your Life. The most important battle of your day is fought and won, or lost, in the first 60 minutes after you wake up. How you conduct this first hour determines the trajectory of the next 16. It is the moment of highest leverage. You can either seize control and set a course for a day of disciplined focus and productivity, or you can surrender immediately and spend the rest of the day in a state of chaotic reaction. For years, you have been choosing to lose. Think about your current routine. The alarm rings. You hit snooze, a small act of self-betrayal to start the day. When you finally roll over, what is the first thing you do? You reach for your phone. In the first conscious moments of your day, before your mind is even fully awake, you voluntarily flood it with a tsunami of external noise. Emails from your boss. Anxious news headlines. The curated, perfect, and false lives of strangers on social media. Urgent requests from colleagues. Notifications designed to steal your attention. You are 5 minutes into your day, and you are already behind. You are already in a defensive crouch. Your mind is immediately hijacked by the agendas, anxieties, and demands of other people. Your priorities have been completely forgotten, replaced by the priorities of your inbox. You have lost the battle before it has even begun. This is not a neutral habit. This is an act of profound self-sabotage. You are handing the keys to your day to the entire world and wondering why you feel hijacked and out of control. And it is a habit you will break, starting tomorrow. Your new law is simple and non-negotiable. Win the morning, win the day. We will do this by installing a new protocol. We will replace the chaos of your current morning with the disciplined order of the golden hour. This is your first hour. It belongs to you, and you alone. It is not for your phone. It is not for your email. It is not for the world. It is a sacred, protected, screen-free space for priming your mind and body for victory. Here is the protocol. It has 3 simple components, governed by one unbreakable rule. The rule, 0 screens. This is the non-negotiable part. Your phone remains off, or in another room. Your computer remains closed. Your television remains dark. You will not allow a single pixel of reactive information to penetrate your mind during this sacred hour. That's the key. Component 1, hydration. Before you do anything else, you will drink a full glass of water. Your body has been dehydrating for 8 hours. This is a simple, primal act of restoring your physical machine. It is your first conscious, disciplined action of the day. Component 2, movement. You will move your body for 10 to 20 minutes. This is not about a punishing, all-out workout. It is about waking up your physiology. Go for a brisk walk. Do a simple bodyweight routine. Push-ups, squats, stretching. The goal is to get your blood flowing, to clear the fog from your mind, and to generate natural energy. You are not consuming caffeine to feel awake, you are creating energy from within. Component 3, Focused Thought. You will sit in silence for the remainder of the hour. You can use this time to meditate, to simply observe your thoughts. You can use it to write in a physical journal, planning your day and clarifying your one task from the previous chapter. Or you can read from a physical book, a real book, with pages, that nourishes your mind. You are not consuming random, low-value information. You are deliberately feeding your mind with focused, high-quality, singular input. That is the golden hour, no screens. Hydration. Movement. Focused thought? Win the morning, win the day. Now, listen closely, because this is where the undisciplined mind will produce its excuses. I don't have time. I'm not a morning person. Let's dismantle these lies. I don't have time is a lie of priority. You do not find an extra hour in the morning, you make it. You go to bed an hour earlier. You demonstrate the discipline to stop the mindless scrolling the night before. You make a choice. You can choose the temporary, cheap comfort of the snooze button and the junk food dopamine of your social media feed, or you can choose the long-term, unshakable power of a mind that starts the day in command. I'm not a morning person is the most common excuse of all. It is an identity you have chosen because it is easier than being a disciplined person. It's not about a flaw in your biology, it's about a lack of discipline in your routine. You don't need anyone's permission to redefine your relationship with the dawn. You just need to decide. This routine will transform you. You will walk out of your golden hour and into the rest of your day with a profound sense of clarity, energy, and control. When you finally do check your email for the first time, at a time of your choosing, you will not be a reactive, anxious victim. You will be a calm, strategic operator. You will look at the incoming requests not as a wave threatening to drown you, but as a set of data points that you can organize and deal with from a position of strength. You have already won your first victory. You have already accomplished your most important work, the work on yourself. The rest of the day is simply about executing the plan. Win the morning, win the day. This is the foundation of the monastic mindset. It is the daily ritual that makes deep work possible. It is where you build the mental and physical energy required to build your wall, to say no to the non-essential, and to focus on the single task. You have now learned how to start your day with intention and power. You have won the battle for your morning, preparing your mind for the work ahead. But even the sharpest, most prepared mind can be dulled by a chaotic and distracting environment. It is not enough to control your inner state. You must also control your outer state. We must now turn our attention to the physical space where your deep work will be done. Chapter 6, The Sanctity of the Workspace. You have mastered your morning. You have engineered a state of internal calm and focus before the world has a chance to attack. You have won the first battle. You are prepared, mentally and physically, for the deep work that lies ahead. But the moment you sit down to begin, you enter a new battlefield, your environment. Look around you right now. Look at your desk. Look at your computer desktop. Look at the physical space where you intend to do your most important work. What you see is not just a collection of objects. It is a perfect, unfiltered reflection of your mental state. A cluttered desk is the sign of a cluttered mind. A workspace filled with half-finished projects, old coffee mugs, stacks of paper you haven't looked at in months, and random digital files scattered across your screen is a physical manifestation of fractured focus. It is the architecture of distraction. You have been treating your environment as a passive backdrop to your work, as if the state of your desk has no bearing on the state of your mind. This is a critical, amateur error. Your environment is not passive. It is a tool. And right now, that tool is likely working directly against you, sabotaging your focus before you even begin. Every unnecessary object in your field of vision is a question your brain is forced to subconsciously answer. What is that? Does it need my attention? Should I deal with it now? Every stack of paper represents an open loop, a task undone, pulling at your cognitive resources. Every useless icon on your screen is a potential rabbit hole, a trigger for distraction. This creates a constant, low-level cognitive drag that relentlessly saps the precious mental energy you need for deep, concentrated work. A master craftsman does not work in a chaotic, disorganized shop, tripping over tools and searching for materials. A surgeon does not operate in a cluttered, unclean theater. They understand that their environment is a critical component of their success. They curate it. They protect it. They sanctify it. You will now learn to do the same. We will apply the monastic principle, a place for everything, and everything for its purpose. This is not about aesthetics. It is not about tidiness for the sake of appearances. This is about mental engineering. We are designing and building a space optimized for one purpose and one purpose only, the execution of high-level, focused, deep work. Everything else is the enemy. Everything else must be eliminated. Here is your protocol for sanctifying your physical workspace. You will do this today. Not tomorrow. Today. First, you will remove everything from your desk. Everything. Your computer, your monitor, your keyboard, your notepad, your pens, the photos, the trinkets. Everything. You will clear it down to the bare surface. Second, you will clean that surface. This is a ritual. You are wiping the slate clean, physically and mentally. Third, you will put back only what is absolutely, non-negotiably essential for the single task you intend to perform during your next monk mode block. Your computer, laptop or monitor/keyboard/mouse. A single notebook and a single pen, if needed. Perhaps a glass of water. Nothing else. That pile of books you intend to read? They belong on a bookshelf, out of sight. Those old papers and mail? They are filed immediately, or they are thrown in the trash. The extra pens, the stapler you use once a month, the phone stand, your phone shouldn't be here anyway, the souvenirs? They are removed. Stored away. Eliminated from your field of vision. You are curating a space of profound minimalism. Why? Because you want your mind to have zero decisions to make, zero distractions to process. You want the only compelling thing in your environment to be the work itself. That's the key. Now, we apply the same ruthless discipline to your digital workspace. Your digital clutter is just as toxic, if not more so, than your physical clutter. First, your computer desktop. It should be empty. Completely, utterly empty. Your desktop is not a storage cabinet. It is not a dumping ground for random downloads. It is your primary digital workspace. Every icon is a visual distraction, an invitation to switch tasks. Move your files into clearly organized folders within your Documents directory. Use a plain, neutral background. The goal is a blank, serene screen that demands focus. Second, your browser. The browser is the great enemy of deep work. When you enter monk mode, you will use one browser window. In that window, you will have one tab open, the single tab required for your task. Not 20. Not 5. 1. Bookmarks for social media, news sites, or any other potential distraction must be removed from your bookmark bar. You are eliminating the triggers. You are removing the temptation before it arises. Third, your notifications. We discussed disabling these during monk mode, but this is a permanent environmental change. You will go into your system settings, on your computer and your phone, and you will turn off all non-essential notifications. No banners popping up. No red circles begging for your attention. No sounds dinging away your focus. You will engineer your digital space to be silent and subordinate to your will. Your environment is not passive. It is a tool. You have a choice. You can work in a space designed by default to distract you, constantly pulling at your attention, ensuring you remain in the shallow. Or you can forge, with deliberate discipline, a space designed for depth, a space that relentlessly pushes you toward focus. It's not about being a minimalist for its own sake, it's about being a professional who understands the power of their tools. This cleansing is not a one-time event. This is a daily discipline. At the end of your workday, as part of your shutdown ritual, you will reset your workspace, both physical and digital, to its minimalist, sanctified state. You will clear your desk. You will close your tabs. You will prepare the environment for tomorrow's victory. You don't need anyone's permission to create an orderly space that serves your highest goals. This practice liberates an incredible amount of mental energy. When your mind is not being forced to constantly process a dozen different irrelevant environmental stimuli, it can devote 100% of its resources to the complex problem at hand. Your thoughts become clearer. Your focus becomes deeper. The quality of your work improves dramatically, almost effortlessly. You have removed the friction. You have now learned to control your morning. You have now learned to control your physical and digital space. You have created an external order that reflects and reinforces your internal order. You have engineered a visual silence. But there is another form of noise, another type of pollution that can penetrate even the most well-designed workspace, even with your phone in another room. It is the noise you voluntarily pump into your own ears. We must now address the final frontier of your environmental discipline, the soundscape. Chapter 7, Embrace Productive Silence. You have engineered your morning for victory. You have sanctified your physical and digital space, creating an environment of profound visual order. You have built a fortress against visual distraction. But there is a more subtle invader, one you willingly invite inside the walls every single day, often believing it to be a friend. It is the constant, numbing hum of auditory noise. You have become addicted to sound. Admit it. You cannot walk to the corner store without putting in headphones. You cannot drive without a podcast playing. You cannot sit down to work without queuing up a specific playlist you believe helps you focus. You have filled every empty space, every silent moment, with the thoughts, the music, the chatter, and the opinions of other people. You have done this under the guise of learning or staying focused or being productive. This is a deception. What you call focus is often a crutch, a way to drown out the discomfort of your own thoughts. What you call learning is often just another form of passive consumption, another layer of noise preventing you from generating your own insights. You are not just consuming content, you are actively preventing your own mind from doing its deepest, most original, most valuable work. You have traded the potentially fertile silence of your own thoughts for the already harvested noise of other people's. You have come to fear silence. The moment it arrives, you feel a restless, twitchy urge to fill it. Why? Because in the silence, you are left alone with your own mind. And for the undisciplined, chaotic mind, that is an uncomfortable, even terrifying place to be. It reveals the chaos within. But for the master, for the practitioner of the monastic mindset, silence is not an enemy to be avoided. It is the most productive environment on earth. We must now reframe silence completely. Silence is not an absence. It is not emptiness. Silence is a raw material. It is the canvas upon which clarity is painted. It is the fertile ground from which your best, most original ideas will grow. You have been starving your mind by polluting its environment with constant, unnecessary noise. Your new command is this: feed your mind silence. The practice is intentional silence. This is not about vaguely hoping for quiet moments. It is a strategic, scheduled discipline. It is the act of deliberately creating blocks of time where you consume no auditory input, no music, no podcasts, no audiobooks, no background television chatter. Just the ambient sound of your environment and the untamed thoughts inside your own head. Here is your protocol. It requires courage, because it goes against the grain of the entire modern world. First, start with your transitions. Your commute. Your walk between meetings. Your time waiting in line. For the next week, you will perform these activities without your headphones. You will simply walk, or drive, or stand, and observe. Observe the world around you. Observe the thoughts that arise in the absence of external input. You will likely feel bored. Good. Boredom is not the enemy. Boredom is the precursor to breakthrough. It is the signal that your brain has finished processing the shallow, immediate stimuli and is ready to go deep, if you would only let it. Second, schedule a 15-minute block of silent thinking into your day. Put it on your calendar like an important meeting. During this time, you will sit with a notepad and a pen, focusing on a specific problem or project. Or you will simply pace the room. You will not listen to anything. You will not read anything. You will simply exist with the problem and let your mind work on it without the crutch of external sound. That's the key. This is where the nonlinear connections happen. This is where the unexpected insights emerge. Third, attempt the first 30 minutes of your next monk mode deep work block in absolute auditory silence. For many, this is the hardest step. You have conditioned your brain to associate the feeling of focus with a specific soundtrack. You believe you need that music to concentrate. This is often a dependency, not a requirement. You must break this dependency. You must prove to yourself that your focus comes from your own internal discipline, not from an external auditory stimulus. Feed your mind silence. What happens when you actually do this? At first, most likely, chaos. Your mind, like a nervous animal finally let off its leash, will race. It will bring up anxieties, to-do lists, fragments of songs, random memories. This is normal. This is the withdrawal symptom from your addiction to noise. Your job, as the sovereign observer you cultivated in earlier chapters, is to simply watch this chaos without judgment. Let it run its course. But then, something incredible happens. As the initial noise settles, your brain begins to make connections it couldn't make when it was busy processing a podcast or a song lyric. An idea from a book you read last week suddenly connects with a problem from a meeting yesterday. A novel solution to a complex challenge appears, seemingly out of nowhere, fully formed. This is not magic. This is your subconscious mind, finally given the quiet, uncluttered space it needs to sort, process, synthesize, and create. You have a choice. You can remain a passive consumer of other people's finished ideas, constantly filling your mind with their noise. Or you can become an active generator of your own original thoughts by creating the necessary condition, silence. It's not about the flaw of enjoying music or podcasts, it is about the discipline to recognize them as potential pollutants during times dedicated to deep thought. You don't need their permission to turn off the noise and listen to the signal of your own mind. Feed your mind silence. The greatest thinkers, creators, and leaders throughout history did not have access to an infinite library of streaming audio. They had access to silence. They had long walks in nature. They had quiet studies. They had uninterrupted hours to simply think. They understood, intuitively or explicitly, that the most valuable mental work is not the consumption of information, but the synthesis and creation of it. You have forgotten this fundamental truth. You now have a protocol for your visual and auditory environment. You have learned to create a sanctuary of external quiet and order. This is a massive step in conserving your precious mental energy and creating the conditions for deep work. Now, we must look at another, more subtle way your precious cognitive energy is drained every single day, often without you even noticing. It is the 1,000 tiny, insignificant, recurring decisions you are forced to make before you even get to your most important work. We must eliminate them. Chapter 8, The Uniform of Discipline, Reduce Decision Fatigue. You have begun to master your external world. You have won the morning. You have engineered your workspace for focus. You have embraced the productive power of silence. You are creating the perfect external conditions for deep work. But there is a silent saboteur, an invisible thief operating within your own mind, draining your cognitive power before you even sit down to begin your most important task. This thief is subtle, relentless, and you have been inviting it into your life every single day. That thief is decision fatigue. You must understand this critical concept. Your capacity for high-level thought, for focused concentration, for exercising willpower and discipline, is a finite resource. Think of it as a bank account of mental energy that resets each morning. Or think of it as a muscle that gets tired with use. Every single decision you make, no matter how small or trivial, makes a withdrawal from that account. It fatigues that muscle. What should I wear today? Withdrawal. Should I have coffee or tea? Withdrawal. What should I eat for breakfast? Withdrawal. Which route should I take to work? Withdrawal. Which of these 10 nearly identical blue shirts should I choose? Major withdrawal. These seem like small, insignificant choices. But they accumulate. By the time you arrive at your sacred, monk mode block, ready to tackle your most important, cognitively demanding task, writing the book, solving the complex problem, creating the strategy, you have already spent 30, 40, maybe even 50% of your best mental energy on utter trivialities. You are showing up to the championship game having already run a mental marathon deciding on your socks. The modern world has sold you the lie that infinite choice is freedom. It is not. It is a cognitive burden. It is a trap designed by marketers that keeps you tired, weak, and indecisive. The amateur celebrates having 1,000 options for breakfast cereal. The master understands that true freedom is being liberated from the tyranny of the trivial. The monk understands this. The monk's life is a system. They do not wonder what they will wear each morning, they wear their robes. They do not stand paralyzed in front of a refrigerator wondering what to eat, they eat the simple meal that is provided. Their entire existence is structured, by design, to eliminate the mundane decisions so that all of their precious mental and spiritual energy can be directed toward a higher purpose, toward their deep work. We will now apply this same ruthless, strategic logic to your life. You will stop squandering your best resources on the worst problems. Your new reinforcing mindset is the core of this strategy. Save your best decisions for your most important work. The technique is to systematize the mundane. We will identify the recurring, low-impact decisions in your life, and we will put them on autopilot. We will create systems and uniforms that make these choices for you, eliminating the need for your conscious brain to engage. Let's start with the first decision of your workday: what to wear. Your closet is not a playground for self-expression at 7 a.m. on a Tuesday when you have deep work to do. It is a battlefield where your willpower goes to die. The 10 minutes you spend staring blankly at your clothes, weighing options, considering combinations, this is a direct theft from your future masterpiece. Your protocol is to create a work uniform. This is not about being boring, it's about being a professional focused on results. Some of the most productive and brilliant minds in history understood this implicitly. Steve Jobs and his iconic black turtleneck and jeans. Albert Einstein reportedly bought several versions of the same gray suit. They were not lacking in creativity. They were preserving it. They understood that making a daily decision about their outfit was a foolish waste of a precious, finite resource. Your task is to select a simple, repeatable combination of clothes for your workdays. Choose function and comfort. A few pairs of the same pants or jeans in a neutral color. Several identical shirts in black, white, or gray. 1 or 2 layers for warmth. That is your uniform. The decision is now made once. When you wake up, you do not ask, "What will I wear?" You simply put on the designated uniform. The mental energy is saved. The willpower is preserved for the work that matters. Save your best decisions for your most important work. Now, we apply the same system to your food. Deciding what to eat for breakfast, lunch, and sometimes even dinner, multiple times a day, every single day, is another major source of cognitive drain. The endless loop of, what do I feel like? What's healthy? What's fast? Your protocol is to create a simple, repeatable weekly meal plan for your workdays. Sit down once, perhaps on a Sunday afternoon, and decide what you will eat for the majority of your meals during the upcoming week. Keep it simple. Keep it healthy. Keep it easy to prepare or acquire. Breakfast can be the same every single day. Oatmeal, eggs, a smoothie, whatever requires zero thought. Lunch can be a rotation of 2 or 3 pre-decided, simple options. Perhaps leftovers from a planned dinner. Perhaps the same healthy salad or sandwich. You are not running a gourmet restaurant for yourself. You are an elite performer fueling your machine for optimal output. That's the key. You have a choice. You can spend your limited mental energy scrolling through takeout menus or debating recipes, or you can spend it solving the complex problems that move your life forward. It's not about the flaw of enjoying food, it is about the discipline to automate the mundane so you can fully engage with the magnificent. Save your best decisions for your most important work. By creating a uniform and systematizing your core meals, you eliminate dozens, perhaps hundreds, of small, unnecessary decisions every single week. The cumulative effect of this is staggering. You will arrive at your desk each day, ready for your deep work session, with a full tank of high-quality mental fuel. Your mind will be clearer. Your focus will be sharper. Your capacity for sustained concentration will increase dramatically, almost effortlessly, because you have stopped the leaks. You don't need anyone's permission to simplify your life in the service of your highest goals. This is not a life of deprivation. It is a life of strategic allocation. You are choosing to be ruthlessly decisive about what doesn't matter, so you can have the maximum cognitive firepower for what does. You have now engineered your internal and external worlds. You have mastered your morning, your workspace, your soundscape, and you have now streamlined your daily decisions to preserve your precious mental energy. You are primed for victory like never before. But even the most productive day, executed with perfect discipline and focus, can be sabotaged by a poor ending. If you do not have a clear, definitive, and ritualized end to your work, its residue will follow you into your evening, polluting your rest, your relationships, and your peace of mind, ultimately undermining your ability to perform at your peak the next day. We must now learn how to properly shut down. Chapter 9, The Deep Work Shutdown Ritual. You have learned to begin your day like a master, seizing the golden hour. You have learned to engineer your environment and your mind for profound focus during your monk mode blocks. You have produced work of a quality you previously thought impossible, driven by the ritual of the single task. You have won the battle of the day. But the most productive day, the most focused block of deep work, can be utterly sabotaged by a weak, ambiguous, and undisciplined ending. Your workday, for most of your life, has not had an end. It just fades out. You close your laptop, but the work follows you. It sits with you at the dinner table. It whispers to you while you try to relax. It haunts your sleep. You tell yourself you are off the clock, but you compulsively check your email one last time at 9 p.m., just in case. You lie awake, ruminating on a problem from a 2 p.m. meeting, your brain still spinning, still on. This is not a sign of a dedicated worker. It is the sign of an amateur who has no control over the off switch. It is a sign of a mind that has not been given a clear command to stand down. This state is called attention residue. It is the cognitive poison that prevents true rest, true recovery, and true presence in your personal life. When your mind never fully disengages from work problems, it never fully recharges. You return to your desk the next morning not restored, not refreshed, but slightly more depleted, slightly more frayed than the day before. This is the slow, grinding, invisible path to burnout. You are trying to run a high-performance engine without ever changing the oil or letting it cool down. This ends tonight. We will replace the messy, ambiguous, anxiety-ridden fade out of your day with a sharp, definitive, and non-negotiable shutdown. A professional athlete doesn't just wander off the field when the game is over, they have a cool-down routine. A soldier returning from patrol doesn't just drop their gear, they follow a specific procedure to secure their weapon and stand down. You will do the same for your mind. Your new daily action, the critical bookend to your disciplined day, is this: close the loop. Reclaim your evening. What does it mean to close the loop? Your brain is a magnificent, complex machine, but it dislikes ambiguity. Unfinished tasks, unresolved problems, and vague plans for the future create open loops in your mind. These open loops are like background applications running on your computer, constantly consuming cognitive resources, even when you are trying to do something else. They generate a low-level hum of anxiety. The shutdown ritual is designed to systematically close these loops, signaling to your brain that the work is truly finished and it is safe to disengage. The tool for this is the end-of-day litany. It is a simple, 3-step ritual. It will take less than 5 minutes. But its impact on your mental peace and your ability to perform day after day is profound. It is the final, critical command that tells your brain, with absolute authority, the work is done. Stand down. Here is the protocol. You will perform this at the scheduled end of your workday, not just when you feel like stopping. Step 1. Review your progress. Approximate 60 seconds. Before you close anything, take 60 seconds to quickly scan what you have accomplished today. Look at your completed to-do list items, the document you worked on, the code you wrote. Briefly acknowledge what is done. This step is crucial. It creates a sense of completion, however small. It signals to your brain that progress was made, that the effort yielded a result. You are closing the loop on today's work. Step 2. Plan tomorrow's victory. Approximate 2 minutes. Now, look ahead. Scan your pending tasks, your calendar, your project list. Identify the single most important task for tomorrow. The single task. Not 5 tasks. Not a vague project. The one specific action that represents your hell yes for the next day. Write it down clearly on a fresh piece of paper or at the top of tomorrow's digital list. This is the most neurologically significant step. The anxious part of your brain that keeps you mentally at work in the evenings is often afraid of forgetting something important. By explicitly defining tomorrow's mission now, you are reassuring that part of your mind. You are telling it, I have captured the most critical item. Nothing important will be dropped. You can stand down. You are closing the loop on future anxieties. That's the key. Step 3. Declare your freedom. Approximate 30 seconds. Once the review is done and the plan is set, you will perform the physical and verbal shutdown. Close every work-related tab, application, and window on your computer. Tidy your physical desk, resetting it for tomorrow's golden hour. And then, you will perform a simple, verbal act. You will say a fixed phrase out loud. The specific words don't matter as much as the act of saying them. It could be, shutdown complete. The work is done. Closing the loop. Computer off. Mind off. Choose your phrase. Make it definitive. Speaking it aloud creates a clear, physical trigger, a neurological off switch that signifies the transition. Close the loop. Reclaim your evening. This is not a suggestion. It is a hard rule, a non-negotiable part of your professional practice. Once the litany is spoken, you are done. You do not quickly check your email an hour later on your phone. You do not allow yourself to ruminate on work problems during dinner. If a work thought appears, and it will, you will calmly acknowledge it and remind yourself, the shutdown is complete. That thought belongs to tomorrow. You then gently redirect your attention to the present moment. It's not about the flaw of being dedicated, it is about the discipline to recognize that true dedication includes strategic recovery. An athlete knows that rest is not the absence of training, it is a vital part of training. It is when the muscles heal, repair, and grow stronger. Your mind is the same. Your best ideas, your most creative insights, often come when you are not thinking about work at all, when you are on a walk, taking a shower, or fully engaged in a conversation with someone you care about. These breakthroughs are impossible if your mind is never given the clean, quiet space to truly rest and integrate. You have a choice. You can let your work life bleed into every corner of your existence, leaving you perpetually tired, anxious, and never fully present. Or you can draw a hard, impenetrable line with this shutdown ritual, reclaiming your evenings for rest, relationships, and genuine replenishment. You don't need anyone's permission to be truly offline and unavailable. Your evenings are yours. Your peace of mind is yours. Protect it. This ritual is the final act of discipline in a day built on discipline. It makes the entire system sustainable. The golden hour starts your day with power and intention. The deep work shutdown ritual ends it with clarity and peace. You are bookending your focused effort with deliberate structure. You have now learned to master the full cycle of the productive, monastic day. You have the tools to begin with clarity, to focus with intensity, to work with purpose, and now, to end with finality. You have created a life of profound structure, solitude, and focus. But we must ask the final, ultimate question. Why? What is the purpose of all this isolation? What is the point of this rigid discipline? The answer is not just a quiet mind or a peaceful evening, valuable as those are. It is something far more tangible, far more powerful. It is the work itself. Chapter 10, The Output That Justifies the Isolation. The path of the monastic mindset is a solitary one. Let us not pretend otherwise. It is a path of subtraction, of silence, of deliberate, strategic isolation from the noise of the modern world. And people will not understand it. They will see your disciplined routines as rigid, inflexible, even obsessive. They will see your unavailability during your monk mode blocks as arrogant, aloof, or uncooperative. They will see your embrace of silence as strange, unnatural, even antisocial. They will judge the process because they cannot yet see the result. They will criticize your methods because they are addicted to their own mediocrity. Let them. We have reached the final and most important chapter. This is the chapter that answers the silent question, the underlying doubt, behind every difficult choice you have made on this journey. Why build the wall? Why say no to the endless stream of good enough? Why embrace the silence? Why systematize the mundane? Why endure the discomfort of deep, focused, uninterrupted work? The answer is simple. It is absolute. It is the only answer that matters, the output. The work itself. The tangible, undeniable, high-value result that you will now produce, day after day, week after week. The modern world is filled with performers. They have mastered the art of appearing busy. They attend back-to-back meetings. Their inboxes overflow. They are perpetually available on chat. They write long emails filled with jargon. Their calendars are a testament to their perceived importance. They are always seen to be working. But ask yourself, what do they actually produce? What of lasting value do they build? What complex problems do they solve? Often, the answer is very little. They mistake presence for progress. They trade real, tangible output for the appearance of productivity. They are actors playing the role of a productive person. You are not a performer. You are a producer. This is the identity you have been forging through every one of these disciplines. The monastic producer. The monastic producer is a ghost in the machine of modern work. They are rarely seen in the endless, pointless meetings. Their inbox count is not a measure of their worth. They are not the first to respond to a trivial message demanding immediate attention. They are the author who disappears for 6 months and emerges with a finished manuscript, while others are still talking about their outline. They are the coder who goes silent for a week and delivers a piece of flawless, elegant code that solves the core problem, while others are still debating the approach in endless Slack channels. They are the scientist who locks themselves in the lab, away from the committees and the administrative noise, and discovers the breakthrough. They are the artist who retreats to the studio and completes the masterpiece, while others are still networking at gallery openings. While the performers are talking about the work, you are doing it. That's the key. The justification for your entire practice, the early mornings, the closed doors, the silenced phone, the ruthless no, is not found in your words. It is found, undeniably, in your work. Your unavailability during deep work blocks is justified by the focused, brilliant strategy document you deliver at the end. Your silence is justified by the elegant solution to a problem that everyone else was too distracted to even fully understand. Your deliberate isolation from the noise is justified by the sheer quality and quantity of the valuable output you now consistently produce. Your new, concluding statement of identity is this: your silence is not empty. It is productive. Think, truly think, about the quality of work you are now capable of producing. Uninterrupted by the relentless barrage of notifications, your mind can finally achieve and sustain a state of deep flow, making connections and producing insights that are simply impossible in a state of fractured attention. Free from the visual and auditory clutter of a chaotic environment, your thoughts have a clarity and precision they never possessed before. Fueled by a full tank of cognitive energy, unspent on the trivial decisions you have now automated, your capacity for complex problem-solving, creativity, and learning is magnified tenfold. This is the payoff. This is the strategic advantage. This is why you say no to the 100 shallow commitments, so you can deliver the single masterpiece. This is why you master your mornings, so you can conquer your most important task before the world even wakes up. This is why you embrace the solitude and the silence, because it is the only environment where truly exceptional, original work is born. You have a choice: to be seen working, frantically treading water in the shallow end, or to be known, eventually, for the treasures you bring back from the deep. It's not about the flaw of being antisocial, it is about the discipline to prioritize creation over connection during your working hours. It's not about hiding from the world, it is about having something of immense value, something real, to show the world when you choose to emerge from your focused work. You don't need their permission to let your results speak louder than their complaints about your process. Your output is your argument. It is the final word. It silences all criticism of your methods, because the results are undeniable. This is who you are now. You are the person whose work speaks for itself. You are measured not by your responsiveness in chat, but by the tangible results you deliver. You have traded the cheap, instant gratification of the shallow, the likes, the quick replies, the feeling of being busy, for the deep, lasting, earned satisfaction of the meaningful. The satisfaction of building something that matters. The satisfaction of mastering your craft. The satisfaction of fulfilling your potential. The path is not easy. Let us be clear. There will be days when the pull of distraction is strong. There will be moments when the silence feels uncomfortable, when the isolation feels lonely. There will be times when the performers, with their loud pronouncements and visible busyness, seem to be getting ahead. In those moments of doubt, you will remember the purpose. You will remember the feeling of completing a single task with your full, undivided, masterful attention. You will remember the quiet power of producing something that only you could have produced, precisely because you protected your focus with the ruthless discipline of a monk guarding a sacred text. Let them have their noise. Let them have their meetings. Let them have their endless stream of shallow distractions and frantic communication. Your path is different. It is quieter. It is deeper. And it is infinitely more productive. The lessons are over. The transformation is complete. You are no longer just learning the monastic mindset, you are the monastic mindset. You are the architect of your own focus. You are the master of your own attention. You are the monastic producer. Your work will be your voice. Your results will be your legacy. Your silence is not empty. It is productive. You began this program drowning in noise. Your attention was a commodity sold to the highest bidder. Your days were a chaotic blur of shallow tasks, leaving you exhausted but unfulfilled. You were connected to everyone but disconnected from your own potential. No more. You have learned to build your wall. You have learned to defend your time. You have mastered the single task and embraced the power of productive silence. You have systematized the mundane to free your mind for the magnificent. Your mornings are yours. Your focus is yours. Your mind is yours. The vow of essentialism has cleared your path. The deep work shutdown has brought you peace. The world will continue its descent into noise and distraction. Let it. Your path is different. You are no longer a participant in the chaos. You are the quiet professional, the silent creator. The quality of your output is now the only justification you will ever need. The results you produce will be the final word. The monastic mindset is not a phase. It is your new reality. The final choice is not whether to start, but whether you have the discipline to continue, day after day. The world is loud. Be silent. Be productive. Be the master. The work begins now.